This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Fortunately, a lot of us are trying to lead better lives in terms of our health, whether that's physical, mental. We're reaching out. I feel like we're hungry for something different. And part of that comes with a holistic lifestyle. We hear that term all the time, holistic. What exactly is it? To me, I hear the word whole in there, WHOLE. But I don't know if that encompasses all of that. We're going to talk about living a holistic lifestyle and how it may support you. And she is somebody that is part of a healing arts center. It's a center that helps people improve their mental health through many different modalities. Of course, many of them are holistic, and it's great to have her back with us from Louisiana. I always love saying that, Louisiana. She is Lindsay Dugas back on the program. How's everything on your end today?
Everything is going great. Everything is going good. Cannot complain. The weather's a little cooler outside today, so it's nice.
In the New York area, it's the same thing here. I just want to
start off by saying,
I didn't mean to cut you off.
Really? Yeah, it's nice outside. It's okay. But so a holistic lifestyle is definitely a balanced lifestyle, a clean lifestyle, but also finding what works for you.
Balance seems to be key. The more as time goes on, I study this stuff, try to live this stuff. If things are out of balance, you're going to have big challenges in your life. Would you say that that's part of the holistic lifestyle?
Yes, it is. And we are faced with many challenges. And through perseverance, it's kind of like, how do you handle these challenges? And I like to lean into a holistic style to face and navigate the challenges, whether it is through diet or exercise, the way that I eat, any tinctures I take, using herbs to balance the body out, eating for your elemental style, your dosha. So I think that just incorporating clean products and a clean lifestyle for yourself is really living a holistic lifestyle, connecting and balancing your mind, body, and spirit.
When we talk about the mental side of living holistically, what are we talking about here? Is it more than just being spiritual?
Well, yes, because the holistic side of finding your balance and the mental side of it, the diet that you eat is also going to create a connection from the gut brain. And we like to call our gut our second brain, but really the gut controls a whole lot of the body. So if you can kind of get that in check, the brain will kind of follow suit.
Can you go a little bit deeper on that? Because I've heard that about the second brain in the gut.
Yeah, so your microbiome, you need a healthy gut, okay, which is first and foremost. Your microbiome is made up of the things that you eat. So we like to incorporate probiotics. People are big on probiotics, but a lot of times they miss the prebiotics, which is going to be in your fruits and vegetables and fibers to kind of feed your microbiome, to kind of keep that connection between the brain and the gut communicating clearly. When you don't have a healthy microbiome, your mind is going to be kind of foggy and fuzzy. And the foods that you intake and the things that you take in diet, whether that is your music you listen to or the TV that you watch, all the things that you take in is going to change your brain chemistry, and it's also going to have effect on the gut.
For you, Lindsay, where did the changes happen for you? When you look back and, the beginning where you made that decision, I'm going to live cleaner. I'm going to live more intentional in terms of being holistic. What do you feel happened first? Did you look at your diet and say, that, I'm going to start with that. Was it just being more grounded, getting out into nature? Where was your starting point?
My starting point was knowing that I was not the best version of myself. So I started looking inward and going, okay, where can I make some small adjustments? Because I believe in taking and making many small shifts to make a big shift. If you try to jump in and do it all at once, in my opinion, it becomes overwhelming and it becomes very challenging to do it all at the same time. So I like to guide people to take very small steps. What are you doing now, and where can we make some micro adjustments for you so your body is operating at its prime? So you may be doing all the right things, but there may be a better time for you to do those things, and just tweaking the time can make a big difference. But for me, it started just really knowing that I wasn't my best self and kind of going through and navigating, knowing I needed to make some changes for myself and letting go of things that really weren't serving my highest good.
So now let's go a little bit deeper. How did you know that you weren't being the best version of yourself? Did you feel misaligned? Was it a feeling of just authenticity? This is not totally me.
Authenticity, but I knew it wasn't me, but I realized that I was trying to escape my reality, and I knew that I needed to make some changes to build a life that I didn't want to escape anymore. And so it took sitting with a lot of uncomfortable things and really taking accountability on all the actions that I was doing and sitting down and going, okay, this is no longer good for me. Let me remove this from my life. And some things that we remove from our lives are easier than others. But once you begin to build that momentum, it becomes easier to navigate. So for me, it just was slow and steady.
Yeah. No, I totally see it. And we live in I call it the Amazon world. Press the button. In most areas, it's here by 3 p.m. this afternoon. All good. But that has trained us to instant results. And I get it. Like you really want to make change. But when you take a look at your life in the last 6 months, go back 12 months and look at where you were and where you are and the things that maybe you overcame, the little tweaks you made, maybe you got a car, something different. We did a lot. You think and look at a year, it's pretty amazing when you look at it.
It is, and that's one of my favorite things. I'm always kind of saying, like, I can't wait to see where we are in a year from now. And that was kind of like my mantra last week. A lot can happen in a year. If you take a lot of small steps, those steps can help you climb to the top of the mountain. You may start at the bottom, but each step you take, if you're focusing on the top of that mountain, it's going to be very hard to get there because you're just so worried about getting to the top. But if we focus on the step that's right in front of us, we take that step. It's a little easier to navigate, and then we can take the next step. And so if you kind of bring yourself into the present moment as you're navigating the changes, they add up. They add up. All the small steps add up. And you know what? Within a year, you can start at the bottom and you could be at the very peak of that mountain.
And to your point, when I refer to the last year, I'm not just talking about all the good stuff. I'm talking about everything, even the challenges that came up, things that you thought were going to be really great, but as you looked at it differently in that year, it didn't go that way, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine. I look at it and I'm like, oh, there was a lesson there. I got the and quite honestly, in the last year, I'm seeing a common theme of one particular lesson. And I'm going to be transparent. What I need to change.
Go ahead.
Get it in writing. Everything.
Get it in writing. Okay.
All, whether a personal thing, whether business, I may shake a hand. We talked about it. We're all good. Unfortunately, it's not heard by other people the same way. But I trust. So unfortunately, I have to trust a little less and then get it in writing. Nothing bad transpired, but it was just difference of
Right.
opinion. Project. Hey, I got a great idea for a project. You want to work on this together? Maybe a side hustle, whatever it is. And then as it started shaking out, well, that's not what we talked about. I have a pretty good memory. I'm pretty clear on that. That's not the way. But if it was in writing, now it's here. Whether
It would be very clear.
very
I
clear.
get that for sure. So what happens is we all have a different lens of perspective that we listen and hear through. So you can say the same thing to 20 people in the room and they're all going to have a different takeaway from it. So
Sure.
I like the fact that you're getting things in writing because that's solidifying it. It's bringing clarity to the whole situation.
Yep.
People know the standards that they need to bring and what's expected and how the project's going to go. There's no room for doubt.
Yeah. And standards, that's a great word that I think we should even put a little microscope on. What are our standards? Well, who are we? I think I've shared them in a men's group. We have standards. We have, and some of them are push, lead, embrace discomfort, respect others' time, trust the process.
Mm-hmm.
We all agreed on all of those. And if what we do doesn't align with some of those standards, we have an issue that's not working. Something's not right here. When you think about yourself personally,
right?
What's our standards?
What are our standards? So our standards for myself, every year I pick a word, and last year my word was expectations. And I was going to work on expectations of myself, expectations that I put on others, because, really expectations, they kind of set us up for disappointment. Typically, we have high expectations of people. They don't live up to those expectations. And, it kind of gets you in the end. And a couple months into it, I realized I really didn't have expectations for anybody anymore, but I realized that I had standards for myself. So standards to me are high value, high quality things that I need in my life, whether they are rapport and energy, give and take type of a situation, whether it's something that I'm going to attend, an event, or if it's something that I'm going to host. I have standards. There are things that I like done in a certain way. And so that is the way that I look at my standards. I view my standards as the way that I carry myself, the way that I present myself, the way I'm going to be presenting to others, and what's the give and take in the relationship.
You're reading my mind because I do the same exact thing. I don't have a New Year's resolution every year. I pick a word. And this year, my word is execution. Just get it done. Like, stop thinking about it, get it done. My word last year was resilience, where I found that, I got more than I thought I had. What do you think yours was for last year? Do you recall?
So last year, are you meaning this year or the year before that? Like the current year we're in?
The previous one. What was the word?
Okay, so that was expectations, and that's when I realized that I didn't have any expectations.
Gotcha.
The year before that, I had marking, which is the word that means find your soul's passion, your soul's purpose.
What's that word?
Led me to America.
Say it again.
It's America, Merki.
I've never heard that word before. So,
so it means find your soul's purpose and your passion. And so it's kind of what has led me to where I am today. This year, my word's transformation.
I'm gonna share that. Give me that again. Merki.
It's Merki, yeah.
And you pronounce it how?
America.
Merca?
Merki? Yes.
Wow.
We're kind of breaking up here, I think.
I know. At a pinnacle point. It's like I'm trying to get the pronunciation.
Right?
Wow. That says a lot. Is that essentially your life's purpose?
Yes, it is finding what makes you happy, what brings you joy. And typically when you go down the route of finding what makes you happy and finding your joy, it leads you to your purpose. I think so.
Learning a lot here. What's the last thing you learned, Lindsay, that made a mark on you? I mean, you may have heard it on a podcast. Maybe you read it somewhere. What's the very last thing?
The last thing that made a mark on me would have to be neutrality. And I've really been practicing this for a moment now, for quite some time. But I heard it explained to me in such a way that really resonated with me. And coming from a space of neutrality allows you to really practice equanimity and find the balance within yourself. So you're not clinging on to things that aren't meant to you, but you're also not having such high expectations to where it's impossible for things to come into your life. So when you just follow and create neutrality within your life, it creates a balance. It allows you to enter into alignment, which then allows you to flow in life. And so what is meant to be yours is going to come to you. And really what no longer serves you is going to fall off and fall away. And I try my best to live by that every day.
Love that. And what inspired that question was you said the word joy. And I always thought that if you look at things energetically, that the highest vibration, I thought it was love. We all want it. That's the highest. But no, as I come to learn, and I hear it more and more, joy is the top. That's the top. Because once you have found joy and you feel it, the love comes after that. I didn't see it that way. Now I do. But I learned that, I don't know, in the last couple of weeks of like, oh, it keeps coming up. I wonder why. Probably a reason, but something I wasn't aware of.
Yeah. So fun fact for myself, whenever I was a little ways into my healing journey and I started my inner child healing. I was told you should name your inner child. And so I was like, okay. So I really sat with that for quite some time, trying to decide like, what name does my inner child deserve? And it hit me like a ton of bricks one day, and it was Joy. So my inner child's name is Joy. So just a little fun fact about myself.
Wow.
Now that we're talking about joy, I feel like, it needs to be brought up.
I'm going to be sitting with that for a while. Like when I'm driving, what would the name for my inner child be? Because it's been said.
Well, it kind of gives an
identity.
It gives a name to them. So it kind of, it brings them an identity. It gives them a name. It gives them a voice. It allows them to be heard, but also seen. And then you can move forward and heal your inner child.
That is super cool. I've never heard that said before. And it just makes total sense, especially when you think of how some therapists will say, whatever you're feeling or an emotion, give the emotion a name or give it a color. Yeah, it's an effective way.
Sure. Look, I live by this. The feelings chart. What do you feel? Name it. That is a handy tool I keep by my side all the time. So we are always naming and identifying our feelings here because we are taught the very center, your basic emotions as children. But, we need to kind of grow the scope and identify the emotions beyond that.
So going beyond that, have you ever heard of the app called How We Feel?
I have not.
Well worth a free download.
Okay.
And it's essentially, from what I saw there, that wheel, that chart that you just showed, you do check-ins, whatever you want to. It'll ask you how you're feeling. Then it'll go deeper and throw, based on what you initially said, a bunch of other feelings and or emotions there. Then you pick one of those. Very graphical, super simple. You don't even have to type. You're just pressing on the screen to get you to a point of better understanding how you are feeling, and then working with how you can improve that or harness the power of that feeling. Again, How We Feel. It's kind of what you said, but it's in an app. That's really cool.
It is, but it's teaching emotional intelligence. And when we can grab emotional intelligence, we can really conquer so many things. We learn to not speak through the lens of anger, or we learn to embrace the lens of joy. So, when we can put more names on a feeling, it allows us to separate those feelings, because a lot of times excitement and anxiety and nervousness, they kind of feel the same. So you have to kind of take that tool of naming this is that feeling so you can understand the difference of what it is we're feeling. We understand what sad, happy, mad feels like, but when you go beyond that, you can feel the difference by naming the emotion.
I'm still beside myself how I have never heard of naming your inner child.
Yeah, you got to name your inner child. You got to give them a name, give them an identity. That way they can begin to unfold and unravel what they're holding on to.
Well, but it just blows my mind how nobody ever talks about that, because if you look at, let's say, I've done hypnotherapy, fantastic, but you address the inner child, i.e., you're giving them attention. You're allowing them to be seen and heard, but how are you seeing and hearing somebody if you don't know who they are? You know who you are. That's your name. You're thinking that as an adult. You don't think that name applies to the child. So give the child another name.
Give the child another name, because a lot of times we are disconnected to our inner child. And a good way to find out if you are is just notice when you're brushing your teeth. If you are brushing your teeth and you're looking at everything else that's around, you're disconnected from your internal self. So if you notice next time when you're brushing your teeth, you're staring straight on and looking yourself in the eyes in the mirror, you have a good connection to self. So that's just a little tip on where to begin.
Learning a lot today. There are so many times where I'll be doing everyday tasks and I don't even remember, and I'm very plugged in, but I don't even remember I'm doing them because I'm in the throe of life. So how many times I've left my driveway, I'm driving down the street, I'm like, did I close the garage door?
Oh, always.
Like, well, how am I disconnected from that? Because it's I guess a wake up that we're on autopilot.
We're on autopilot for sure. Going through the motions of life. But yes.
But missing the connection.
Been missing the connection. And what's funny is I named my inner child Joy. And then the next day I walked into the studio and we have these affirmation cards. And so every time I go to the studio, I'll pull an affirmation card, and I will never forget. I pulled the card the next morning and my card said, when you connect to joy, you'll find love, or something along those lines. And I was like, okay, this is confirmation that I definitely named her correctly. So through connecting to my inner joy, I have definitely healed my inner child.
That's beautiful. And, you know, for further evidence, at least for me and my belief, there's nothing that happens for a reason. That was supposed to happen.
Yes.
It's really cool.
Always, yeah.
I hope to have a name next time we get together for mine.
Yeah, I would love to know it.
And I'm not just going to pull any name out. It's
no, you got to sit with it.
But, I just got hit with an idea of what the name is. Offline, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
But there is a reason for it. Oh my gosh. Like, this is like light bulb just went off.
I see the light bulb.
I have to process that to see if it makes the most sense, but
yeah.
Well.
Sit with it.
Yeah, Lindsay, fantastic. Everything we talked about is living holistically, by the way.
Yes.
How do we connect with you? How do we find you?
So you can find us on metamorphosishoma.com, or we are on Facebook, Metamorphosis Healing Arts Center.
Very cool.
That's where you'll find us.
I love how you call it Healing Arts Center. It is an art. It really is.
Yes, we have lots of arts here in the building. We have lots of healing modalities, and we come together as a collective, and we are co-creating a real change in our community. And it's a beautiful thing, and the community has been embracing us with open arms. And it just is that it's just so amazing to kind of watch it all unfold.
Thank you so much for today and all of the realizations. And Lindsay, Joy,
right.
Looking forward next time we get together.
All right. Thank you. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.